more experiments to run, more things to try out in this quest of mine to find the best way to train around a couple of injuries that I'm having at this moment. So I went for high pulls, superset with squats, and I must say that I'm glad that the high pulls did not give me any pain at all. When I am going into the squats, however, and anything heavier than 60 kilos basically, I started feeling a bit of a pull in the back of my shoulder, and this is not a pleasant one. It's something that kind of disrupts my concentration. I cannot really focus on going down properly. My hips sometimes break before my knees. I end up going not deep enough. My squat is all over the place. With 60 kilos, I think that I can get a good amount of quality repetitions. The weight and the intensity is not as high, but I might be having to settle for that, for the time being at least. And I was also supersetting with some hanging leg raises with the extra weight at the end of the lever. These are pretty tough, but I was progressing from the previous time on my first set. I did 12 reps. And into the second working set of the high pulls. I'm noticing now that I could do actually a better job at leg extension, at full hip extension, to throw the bar upwards with more energy. Maybe the knees don't extend fully, so there definitely is a good chunk of force that's going wasted there. So I need to iron that out. And looking at the 80 kilo squats, they did not feel good. I was feeling this annoying pull at the back of my shoulder. Probably 80 kilos seems to be putting too much pressure, and the external rotations caused is not giving me a good sensation. But even looking at them, look very insecure going down. It's not a fluid motion at the bottom. There is a bounce, but there isn't really a fluid movement going back up. At least the leg raises were doing well. I did another set and I stayed at 10 repetitions. These are very tough, and I'm glad that I can still do not too many reps so that I can progress these. And who knows, maybe at some point I'll do 2.5 kilos, but that's a few weeks off for sure. Now, the last set of the high pulls gives me a good point of view on what I was saying before about the knees. They could extend definitely more, and at that point maybe my back could go in a slightly arched position to fully extend the hips and maybe even facilitate the upward movement of the bar. And another set with 80 kilos of squats. I didn't want to give up, even though I probably should have. Looking at them from the side, there isn't much knee trouble. There is a lot of sitting back and maybe the tiniest bit of flexion in my lower back at the bottom. This is definitely what was causing the very stiff and clunky ascent from the hole. Definitely, if I feel pain in my upper back, other parts of my body are going to try and compensate for that to alleviate the pain, and definitely the lower back is not exactly where I would want that to occur. So I have to go back down in weights for the time being. And in the meantime, that I did not film, I was also doing the usual banded exercise for my shoulder. This time the internal rotations did not really feel too good, probably because my shoulder was getting inflamed by me being pig-headed and going ahead with heavier squats that I can handle at this time. So afterwards I decided to do a few bench presses and curls, and the last thing that I did was a few face pulls on the TRX. Did not go too crazy on these. There's probably a good chunk of range of motion, but because this is a forced external rotation, I feel a bit of a stretch at the end, so I only went as far as I was feeling comfortable with. Hopefully these can also be helpful in conjunction with elevated push-ups, provided that I go easy on the range of motion. Ciao.